Hey guys, remember us?
What's the name of the
We
show
are
again,
back.
John?
Yep, we are back after what 4 or 5 weeks here.
It's like a month,
And
basically.
yeah, I mean, after after like myself going through a nasty COVID battle, which my God, that thing kicked my freaking ass. And before we even start, I would like to thank everyone who reached out um um for me. So I greatly thank you. And like Matt, we have been like really between like that and everything else going on. It was hard for us to really
I had
schedule
a
a time to really record.
yeah, I
But
had a
now,
wedding. I was in.
yeah,
I wasn't getting married.
yeah,
Best man. I
and
had that weekend of fun.
right, and actually, we were going to start like last week, but unfortunately,
Was it last week?
someone
Or was
else
it the week
on
before?
the podcast
Oh
here
yeah, I was sick.
someone else on the podcast wasn't feeling well, so it was like, oh nope,
Yeah,
maybe maybe next week.
and then we were supposed to have one, and before, like I get like a month ago, and as we're recording I'm gonna say something on my thing got bumped. I'm gonna assume it got bumped. My hard drive here. Uh, that's the conclusion I came up with, and nothing saved.
Yeah. So,
There wasn't
but
even like I clipped. We could have put out there. Nothing.
right,
So, a
how
lot of things going against us right now,
right.
or back then. But we're back
However,
out.
however, we are indeed back, and man, do we have a lot to talk about because I tell you, man, we have like missed out on a lot of things, but I feel like the first thing that we should get into is into some hockey talk. And as like you guys know, we are huge Pittsburgh Penguins fans, and they're
We are.
in a we are in a dogfight of a series right now with the Islanders, who
A Royal
we're now
Rumble.
currently up 2 games to like one right now. Um, and yeah, Matt, what have your thoughts been on the series as we head
Uh,
into game 4 on Saturday here?
uh, it was probably going along the same lines that I thought of,
Mm-hmm.
just very close games, because every game has been a 1 goal game. Uh, there were times when there was 2 goal leads,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but it always comes down to uh, the 1 goal. The last game, there was a lot. Well, series in general, a lot of checking, just a lot of just putting bodies on the line, blocked shots, just gritty, ground and pound um, type of hockey, where you get a tight checking. I don't know if I already said that, but uh,
Mm-hmm.
that every goal kind of feels very important. Um,
Right.
and that was almost especially true in Game 3. Um, there was a time when our top line, like our starting lineup, was in one box. Just a big fight,
which
and
which by the way was complete and utter horse shit.
tell me how you really
Man,
feel.
that those freaking officials in Game 3, Matt. I don't know what to say because I literally have no idea what the hell that they were doing in this game, because somehow in that whole like melee, how do we get shorthanded?
I
I'm
think it
still
was
I'm I'm
it was Gensel that last.
I'm
Uh,
guessing.
it had no. I'm pretty sure it was Gensel. He came round and did the last um, uh, hit with the stick as he was going to the box on whoever, and I guess they called him for roughing. 'Cause I think he was in there for an extra 5. He was in there for 5, 2 and 5. I think or an
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
2, something
yeah.
like that. He was in there for an
Yeah,
extra time.
yeah. He was the last guy to get out there. So
So that
there
was
was
it.
that. But man, I mean, I tell you, Matt, the MVP of the series has to be freaking Jeff Carter.
Yeah,
Man, I no one expected this. Like he has now what 3 goals in the series now. I believe
I think
he's
yeah, and I think it's something like 12 goals and 14 games played total as a
right,
Penguin. And
right,
he had
and
that 4-goal game against the
mhm.
Bruins. Yeah,
or
this is
actually
the
five
Bruins.
goals. I or
I
was it
think it was
five?
four. I think it was.
Oh,
I thought it
oh,
was 4 in a game.
okay,
Is it 4 in a
okay,
game? Am I right?
yeah,
He did
yeah,
that. Yeah,
okay, yep, like you're right. So, I mean,
but
hell, like
well, I think because
I
a lot of goals.
right, and now I mean, like, and now we like have Sid, Gino, Jeff Carter, and Teddy Bluger right down the freaking middle. Is I mean, like, it's a problem, and man, our fourth line right now, it's been a headache
Yeah,
for the Islanders, and as like Matt, they have a really good like fourth line there with like Martin on the headline that there. So I mean, I think especially in like this series, it's really beneficial having like 4 lines who can score and
yeah.
who can like cause like havoc.
That's the difference I feel compared to the last 3 runs, especially '09. That I feel like when like your fourth line comes out, usually, or at least this happens to me.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, you're not going to expect scoring. But let's see, they just play good. But now, like this year, I expect every line to come out to play play well and possibly score.
Yeah, and man,
And
that I mean, like between Jeff Carter and that huge goal by Brandon Tanev,
yeah,
that
the
was
SWAT.
just absolutely massive because honestly, I was not feeling good about that game at all. Um, after after it was tied up 4-4. So
Yeah, it
that
was
was
just
huge.
going back, and over time, it takes a bounce
Mhm,
that
right.
that then between a big difference between 2-1 and 1-2,
Hmm.
on either side, um, being 2 games close, then still being 3 games close, and still have one more game on the island. If you can get out, if the Penguins can get out 3-1, coming
You're feeling pretty good.
to only win
You're
one more, yeah, obviously one game, we have
yeah.
to win one game and 3, with the next one at home with we think is 100% capacity, to the momentum. Like if the Penguins don't come out, hypothetically they win game 4. I don't see how the Penguins don't come out with 100% crowd in game 5, guns a blazing, and just maybe just play out of their minds, get a goal. But the thing to watch out for that is the theme in this series, maybe with the exception of game 1, uh, we come out strong, we get the lead, and then
Third period. Third
it was
period
usually the
especially.
second period, for at least games, probably 1, 2, and 3.
No,
For
it
me,
was
it's the
like this.
second that we
Yeah,
would
I
come
mean,
out
like,
good. We would play good first period, and second period,
yeah,
they would come
you would
in.
see, yeah, a little bit of
They would
a like
score. They were
downshift.
tied up, and the third, at least to me, maybe Islanders had it, but we could score, but I don't know. I think it was always the second period that we let them back in, and then
Hmm.
the third was hold on to your butts,
Right.
Exhibit A yesterday, and
Right, and something else I'm not understanding from like Harry Troch's perspective is I was a little bit surprised in games 2 and 3 that he went back to like to like Varlamov after Sorokin in game 1 played sensational. I thought for sure he would be at least in a game 2 there, but he went back to Varlamov,
Probably,
who played
yeah.
pretty decently outside
I,
of like period one,
I,
where like he just
it's always the
that goal.
the first one always he
Mhm.
lets in the first one and then he'll play out of his mind the rest of the way
Yeah,
for the most part. I'm guessing he went because that's the playoff tested playoff
right.
experience compared to obviously the rookie, even though he did play
Mhm.
well in game
I
one,
feel like
but that
he's
was
gonna.
still a one shot game going in overtime.
Right.
And
I do feel like he's gonna be going to Sorokin in game four. And especially after like hearing especially after hearing Trox's comments er, er, earlier earlier this morning. He didn't exactly give a vote of confidence for like for like Varlamov. So I
I thought he not attacked him, but criticized criticized him after game two.
yeah
From what I read, he's
just
not afraid to criticize his goaltending.
no, which I mean that can hurt or like help your team. It just
And
kind of
but at the
depends.
same time,
Mhm.
like it's not like we've been blowing them out and beating them like
No, it's been extremely tight.
it's like and yeah, you can Jari just let in pretty much the same amount of goals as him if you take
he
away game one, and it's
and
just been
that third period and that like third period he was not good. Like
I don't know
yeah,
no, I don't blame him in the third period.
I mean like yeah, like there was a goal or two that wasn't really his fault, but man, especially on that like tying goal, I have
Which
no
one?
idea what he was doing
Which
there. But
tying goal? Which
uh,
one? Is that the one he was pushing the person out of the way?
4-4. Yeah, like that one. I was like, what the
I'm
heck?
guessing he couldn't. Yeah, I'm guessing he couldn't. I don't if he couldn't see and he was. I don't know. He was.
I right.
It
I was
was
just
weird.
like, what the hell
But yeah,
were you
okay,
doing?
maybe that's the only one. But it's nowhere. I don't think he's playing nowhere near game one.
No,
Game one, he was
whew,
just
that was bad.
like you got on stage for the first time and you get stage fright. You're like, oh shit. But
I
I
mean,
think he's played way better. Okay, you can say, oh, that we won 5-4 and everybody gave up at least four.
a like win's a win.
A win,
I mean,
hey.
like I don't care how these wins come. Like
Yeah.
if they are freaking ugly,
We
it's still a
we
win
could have.
in the
Hey,
postseason.
nobody cares unless you get the 16 wins. Nobody you raise that cup. You look at the names. Nobody's gonna look and go on those names and go, well, they didn't dominate. They won, but did they
Right.
really win? Nobody fucking cares.
No one freaking cares.
You
It's
won
a
16
win's a
games.
win.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
And
go ahead.
and as like you said earlier, man, I feel like that the main difference is with this team, they have secondary scoring now, especially when Jeff Carter is on the third line. When you have him like McCann, and
Yeah.
Frederick
Because
Gaudreau, it's such a deeper team. And man, like yeah,
yeah, look at our first line with Gensel, Russ, and Crosby. Yeah, Crosby has scored. I think Russ has scored. Yeah, but they haven't been tearing it
horrible.
up
No.
per se. They've been playing
Yeah.
well. Look at
Yeah.
look at Crosby's diving play that blocked that shot.
That right there just speaks to just how great he is. It's just he plays a complete game, like
Yeah.
a 200-foot game.
Because
like,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, and people criticize him for not scoring, but man, plays like that
200
matters.
feet.
Just matters so much, and I mean, like, and because man, Jari let a horrible rebound right there, and
Time
that,
stopped for me. I saw that. I
was
went,
going-
no. Yeah, and then when it didn't go, like when he shot it, I was waiting for everybody to cheer, and it didn't happen. I went, wait, it's not in, because I didn't see Crosby block right away because I looked at the goal just to see if it would go in.
Same here.
And
And you were
it
like,
didn't.
"Oh my god!"
I go, wait, happened.
Stick on.
No, I thought it was maybe they said he went wide, so I thought maybe he just like completely like shot it too near side,
Yeah.
and then I saw the replay. And went, oh my god! Like that go. That is gonna be go back. If we go and win, or get deep, you remember that play. That's gonna be an underrated play that hopefully people don't forget.
Right. And something else to keep in mind as well. This was like Gino's first game back.
Yeah.
So, and I think something that was very obvious, Matt. Jason Zucker and Cappy really missed him because that line just looks so much better now with him out there. And man, that goal by like Zucker was a thing of freaking beauty. Like freaking top shelf, and there was no way in hell that like Varlamov saw that there. So that was.
I don't know if he. I don't know. No, I think he saw it. I don't think he was expecting the shot when it happened. Right. Like I think he saw it, and then it happened. He's like, oh, and by the time he realized, oh crap, he actually took a shot. It was, top cheese. Yeah. Like that was just. It was a fantastic shot. Same thing with Carter's goal. Going top shelf, and that feed from Malkin,
on the short side,
just went up and just pitched it right up like he was golfing.
And he freaking like finishes, man. Like he's a finisher, and even on like his first goal, like his like that thing was so damn fast, so damn quick that Varlamov, he couldn't even like react. So man, it's a very exciting time right now, and especially compared to from like last year where it was just so it was so frustrating because we just didn't see this team like four lines like this who can score, who can create havoc, and I'm very excited. Now, if they get game 4, then obviously, there is zero reason why this team shouldn't win the series. Like,
oh yeah,
up like 3-1.
I felt like it's
so
near.
So
yeah, there's no way it even should go to 7.
No,
they should win it in 5.
And to be perfectly honest, Matt, outside of like maybe like 1 or 2 periods, Pens have pretty much have been like really frustrating.
Yeah,
the Islanders. I feel it just, man, the Islanders, they block so many shots.
They play.
And it's so hard. It's so hard to get
physical. They're stingy. I think that's a good word. Stingy, just hard hitting. I just like Jake Gensel is just getting his ass beat out there, just with hits. I feel
so bad for that, man.
It's gonna be interesting. Whenever we can transition into this series, whether we play the Capitals and Bruins, which right now, as of this recording. This is Friday. Boston's up 2-1 in the series, and they're 0-0, a little bit halfway or so through one.
And man, like that's going to go either 6 or 7 games.
Right? Because the first 3 games went OT.
Right, exactly. It's going to be super tight, but man, if I had to pick a team, I would rather face the Capitals.
Yes.
because to me like with Austin, they they like match up better with us.
Yeah, I hate playing
Where
Boston.
yeah,
We never
yeah,
have good luck with Boston.
yeah.
I don't know what it
Whereas
is.
and like we have seen with the Caps, they really are so slow against us. I think especially in the like regular season, that was really evident for me. So I would like rather face them, but at the same time too, it's like Pens. I feel like they can beat anybody. Like
Yeah,
if they get consistent, if Jari gives us consistent good goaltending, we can beat anyone, man.
I
So it's just going to be a like
yeah,
matter if we can just stay consistent
I
there.
feel like we can get to our game more against the Capitals because I
Mhm.
think I just have this feeling like playing the Islanders of just they're just again gritty, stingy, and they're kind of in more in your face, and at times can't get to
Which
our
they have to be.
game. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
what
which
you
they
have
have
to
to be.
be,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just have to fight through each win, which they are in each game.
Hmm.
I'm I am sweating through a sleeveless shirt outside.
Yes.
Um,
Exactly.
if you're a fan of either not a fan of either team, yesterday's game was probably fan freaking tastic to watch, entertaining. But Capitals, I
Mhm.
feel like with we with our speed, I there was times this year, regular season, probably early on, when it didn't seem like we were fast, but we got our speed with or even injuries. We
Yeah.
got our Tanevs. Carter still has speed. Fourth line
Cassidy.
is just running around. There's speed there. You got
uh, like Rust,
Russ. You get
Kapanen, Zucker,
so
like it's
the
just like
top line. Let's put
right. They
insert.
create so much havoc against them, and which is why I really like that. But especially with like Boston getting Taylor Hall or pretty much just like given him, which still annoys me. But yeah, so we'll kind of see how that happens. And another series I've been paying attention to that's been pretty crazy has been the Tampa Bay and like Florida series. Especially in like game one, man. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is like the craziest game I've seen.
I'll
But
watch that
I
again.
believe Tampa Bay is up like 3-0 now, right?
2-1, 4-1 in overtime last night.
Oh, oh, really? Okay.
Yes, so it's a series.
Okay. Okay then. So yeah, that's so like that has been pretty entertaining. A series I've been kind of surprised by so far. Did like Vegas pull
They
that out
they,
last night
they
or
won five
did
two.
uh, I'm like Vegas did?
Yes,
Wow.
because
Okay.
Wild took
S-
I watched the highlights earlier. The Wild took 2-0 lead. It was going to be 3-0, but
okay.
the Vegas challenged. They were offsides. Wild were
Okay.
so it was 2-0, and then Knights tied it up. You got 3-2, and then the fifth goal was an empty netter. Um,
Right.
yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
just Vegas just came back and just dominate. I guess
5-2. Yeah.
dominated. Canadians up 1-0. They finally started. They
And
won
man,
2-1.
that was a scary scene
Oh, I saw that. Oh my
with like
god.
Tavares. Like I have never seen that be before. It looked like where a guy just passes out,
He got up
which
and just
like
like,
thankful,
nope.
yeah, which like thankfully he's okay now. I believe he was just like released from the hospital.
That's
So
good.
everything looks to be okay. And man, Florida winning 6-5 after I believe that Tampa Bay was up by like 3 goals
Let me make sure. I didn't
in
know.
the third period there. So
Oh, they were up. They were up 5, no, 5-3 going
okay,
into after two. So it was 2-0 Florida, and then Tampa Bay got it to 3-2, and then they tied, and Florida tied it up, and then Tampa Bay got it to 5-3 in the second. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals in the second.
So like home ice says like shove it apparently in like that series.
And then Florida scored twice, um, in the third, and then obviously in overtime. Yeah, so yeah, home ice. Yeah, screw home ice.
So
yeah,
guys,
that's funny. Oh wait, and we got three more series real quick. We got Carolina 2-0 over the Preds. Carolina just, to me, is like an underrated, on the radar team. They're just playing good right now. Up 2-0. Jets in Edmonton started. Winnipeg's up 1-0 over Edmonton, which
man, and
it's like Toronto
and like McDavid and like McDavid has been struggling, like and with all of the injuries too that the Winnipeg Jets have been having, that was pretty surprising at that he had like 0 points in game one there. Yeah. So
and then
pretty damn impressive on like Winnipeg's end there.
Yeah, and then Avalanche versus the Blues. Colorado's up 2-0. Game 3 later tonight. No surprise there with Avalanche. They're talented, so we'll see.
They're in my opinion, they are between, I would say them and Vegas are the like front runner.
Yeah.
Are the like front runners.
If it comes down to Colorado and
us.
No, Colorado and Vegas on the I call it the lap side of the bracket, because we threw in it always threw me off to see Nashville and versus the Hurricanes in round 1, because usually they're in the West. But I guess the West Coast makes sense. Like that throws me off. The Preds on the East, but even though they are, I don't know why they're not. That never made sense to me.
Geography.
But yeah, I fully expect Avalanche and Vegas to be in the finals. That's going to be a hell of a series.
Man, if we get either Colorado and Pittsburgh, or Colorado and Tampa, or like Vegas and Tampa, or like Vegas and Pittsburgh, like, I mean, like, count me in. And now, and obviously too, this is going to be NBC's final year too, with the NHL they go on to ESPN and like Turner, which we will be talking about like later here, when we get into some professional wrestling talk. But now let us pivot to some NFL talk, Matt, and more specifically about the Steelers. And I'm just going to be talking shortly here about their NFL draft. And we saw some good things, I felt. Obviously the like biggest name was like Najee Harris, running back from the Alabama Crimson Tide. I really do feel that this is going to really help us out. I'm still concerned about the offensive line. However, I mean, despite how bad that our offensive line was last year, I also do feel as well with our like running backs, they were too inconsistent, and especially Connor, who just was constantly hurt. I feel like that was a like big thing, and obviously too the offensive line, it needs to be absolutely better. But man, this guy, he is a like bell cow, and I feel like he's going to be as good as what like Le'Veon Bell was, and like hopefully better. So between him and I'm also looking at the tight end who we got from like from the like Nittany Lions Pat. I'm gonna try and say this like Theramuth.
Sure.
um yeah, a really good two-way tight end who I feel is going to really fit in like Matt Canada's offense. Um, so there was him, and we also got a few offensive linemen. One Kendrick Green, who I think is probably going to be taking over Alex Center there. Um, and I'm interested to see how like he's going to do. And also we took an offensive tackle from Texas A&M, Dan, Daniel Moore. So yeah, we will see how these guys pan out here. And but it'll be really hard to tell how good that these guys are going to like truly be until we actually start to get into like training camp, into preseason and everything. But as far as like Najee Harris is I'm concerned, he's going to be our guy, and I would not be surprised at all if he's going to be where the offense is going to be surrounded by him because I feel like I feel like if we have even some semblance of a like running game, Matt, this team is going to be a lot better. Hell, we can't be any worse
Uh,
than
uh,
like running it, right? 30-second, you can only go up. So
uh,
right
they add a team and we're 33rd.
there.
That's the only way. Only
So
way. Quick expansion draft. Everybody go.
oh,
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. Um, well, first off, I think that the Steelers addressed majority of their issues in the draft, and we got a big boy punter. See that guy? And
yeah,
man,
he's freaking huge, man.
yeah,
So like
you can't be you can't be embarrassed if you get tackled by the punter. Look at him; he's a freaking
no,
lineman.
he's a freaking tank. That's
Yes,
what he is. So I mean, so
but
hopefully he gives us some
it's
consistency, some consistency there because also especially on special teams that has been a very up and down thing for us
mhm.
for for the last
Yeah,
few seasons here.
it's going to
So
be interesting. Yeah, it's also going to be interesting going back to the offense. That
mhm.
obviously the running game will probably be better, but in terms of
Can't be
that,
any worse.
yeah, in terms of that, like how the entire offense is working with the new OC Matt Canada.
Hmm.
Um,
It can't be any worse than like Coach Randy. All right, can't be any worse
Randy.
than Coach Randy.
No, I mean
Right,
it's
right.
true. It's true. So it's going to be interesting a transition period. Everybody's written off Roethlisberger. Um, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting year. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's when the all the preseason and training camp things. We'll get
Right.
an idea of where we are going. But
Right. And in some areas where I'm still concerned with is first of all, offensive line, especially at those offensive tackle spots there, because as currently Matt, our starting offensive tackles are Zach Banner and like Chooks. Not feeling great about those options.
we'll see.
So yeah, we'll see about that, and also at like corner. Since we cut Steven Nelson, our stars right now are looking to be like Joe Hayden and like Cam Sutton. So I wonder how that's all going to pan out, and I'm really concerned if any one of those guys get hurt, could be a major problem there. So we'll see how all of that turns out. So
Yeah.
all right, now we're gonna get into some like shows and like movie talk. And Matt, the first thing I want to touch on is what were your thoughts on the Venom trailer?
Um,
Because I was not a fan of it.
watched it. Well, obviously, real quick earlier today. Um, I don't know. I didn't really hate it as much as I'm getting from you. Um, I think that looked like to me there was some interesting action in the beginning that was started and ending with the typical based off the first movie Venom comedy. Um, but I see some potential of like the action scenes they showed, but I don't know. We'll see if that's all the action or there's more. Um, I I probably when's it coming out?
I believe it's let me see.
Because I'm interested to see if they put out another
It's this
trailer.
summer. It has to be.
I felt like they put on.
September
Oh
24th.
yeah, they'll put out another trailer.
Yep.
I want to look at the other
Um,
trailer.
yeah, it's just I feel like it was way too cartoony, um, um, for me, or just like was just a little bit too much comedy. And as a like Venom fan, especially if you saw the like '90s version of the Spider-Man handmade series, this is a complete 180 different character. Because in that series he was a complete heel, whereas here he's more uh, of an anti-hero here. So it's hard for me to really buy into this. And I'm not exactly sure how I feel about Carnage right now as well, but hopefully when they drop a second trailer that it's a little bit better, but not I wasn't exactly jumping for joy when that came out. So we'll see what happens. All right, and now we're going to jump into the Bad Batch. Now, let me say first, I haven't seen episode 4 yet.
I
I
did
did not
yes.
get a chance to like check that out.
Okay, I won't mention it.
Yeah, but episodes 1 through 3. Matt, initial thoughts here.
I shocker. I really enjoyed it. I liked them. The episodes with them, or at least the episode with them in the final season of the Clone Wars uh, that came out last year, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. They're giving a more background and as in the transition from the Republic to the Galactic Empire, and the
Mhm.
transition from clones to stormtroopers.
To like yeah, to like
Because
humans. Yeah,
yeah, Tarkin is not fond of the clones. He wants a cost-cutting measure, and
it's way
multiple
too expensive, pal.
one possible the one big reason everybody's putting out is they're making the Death Star.
Hmm.
Are starting to put that in the motion, and you need all resources
Hmm.
into that. They did mention I for some reason I just remember this now. They did the one project. There was one like project name. I forget the name of the project, but it called back to Rogue One when they're in the at the end they're looking for the plans of the Death Star, and they're going through. I think they're going through. They see like 3 project names, and one of them, I think, was this one that in this movie, in this show. I think it was. Oh, crap, I forget what the project is, but whatever it is, I like to call back to that, and they're lining stuff up. In the first episode, the Padawan in training there in the beginning, right when Order 66 was being executed, was oh my god,
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but the one main guy from Rebels. oh my god, I forget his name. So forgive me there, but they brought that connection there because there's a scene in Rebels. I know you didn't watch it, but
No,
of
no.
one bad guy asking him what would your Jedi say, whatever, and they said a line and they tied it in this series. Um, so that was cool. I mean, that's Filoni tying in all his shows together.
Which like which speaking of
Yeah,
him, he is now a like executive now
executive
at,
creative
at like
director.
Lucasfilm,
Yes.
which can only be a good thing. So
And I saw
um
something today that that they clarified and said that he's been that for a little bit now. It
oh
just hasn't started just
um
yesterday. He's kind of had that for a little bit.
I think I also saw a rumor like is there a like rumor of Kathleen Kennedy possibly being like forced out?
That's been like that for like a year. There's
Okay.
everything. There's always like, oh, the shaking up is
Right. Right.
John Favreau. Like there's been all that. I don't think
Force her
she's
out, damn it. Force her out.
I don't think she's going anywhere. I think
Yeah,
if
yeah,
if
same
if
here.
if she's just the president, oversees everything, and Filoni, uh, at least for Star Wars, is like the creative mind, and he does the
Yes.
thing, and he reports back to her. I think it's fine.
Yeah, just stay out of the way and let like Dave do what he does and create magic
Yeah,
here.
because yeah, it's because obviously he's worked with George Lucas. He's got the mind for it. I mean,
Hmm.
uh, look at the Mandalorian. Look at now the Bad Batch, Clone Wars, Rebels. He's got some great ideas. Good
Pretty
mind for
much whatever he is involved with, chances are it's going to be a pretty good show.
yeah.
It's just
He,
I feel like he
he can
has
yeah he
yep,
can keep things consistent.
right.
He's a good storyteller, even
Hmm.
in person. You listen to him. That's why I
Yeah.
always like the behind the scenes stuff because just seeing how things work and how his mind works. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah. And yeah, like not bad for a guy who graduated from Edinburgh University, right?
I think, yeah. What happened to
So,
you? I hang. Oh, but
but
what are
getting
your
back,
thoughts? Yeah.
um, yeah, so just like going into this completely with like zero like knowledge of these
Yes.
characters, pretty damn interesting. Like just like trying to understand everything going on with the politics of the clones and like things and I was like watching some like theories on these episodes as well and like at the end of episode 3 they were talking about like creating a different kind of clone and someone was throwing out someone who could be a like force wielder like, could we possibly see Star Killer as a possibility there? What would you
Who's
think about that?
who, am I stupid? Who's that?
Okay. I'm not sure
I
if you have seen
feel
any
dumb.
of the like video games, but like
No,
he was basically
no, I didn't play any of the
like
games.
he was basically like Vader's right hand man, essentially. And like
Maybe. Okay. Well, I mean, they could throw
he
that
like
in.
trained him, yeah, like he like trained him, and then he killed him, and then like and then I think they did a like another clone of like
Could they?
himself, and like he came back, and yeah,
Could they
so
throw that in the Obi-Wan series?
I mean, I we could see that, but like he was like because I like followed that whole entire thing there. He was a really interesting character, and you know when you first see, oh, a clone who is a like force wielder, we're like, well, he would be a candidate there. So I'm kind of wondering if we could possibly see him. So that's
I
interesting.
I,
But
I
yeah,
would um no see see the timing was way off, but like I thought of uh Grogu, Baby Yoda,
yeah,
that whole thing because they all were trying to get his for the force and all the mini Calorians and I guess in theory bringing back Palpatine. But that happens years down the road. But I don't,
okay.
because
So
that's after
basically,
because Mandalorian is after Episode 6. This is before Episode 4. But
mhm.
I don't know how long that's the stretch of time before
Yeah,
from before
I'm not
four.
sure.
I don't know if it's that long.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either.
I don't
But
know. I
um,
don't remember the I don't remember the line from a different type of clone. I missed that line.
right, right.
Was it the who the people on the what's the place where they make the clones? What's that planet? Oh, Jesus. Those okay, those
Uh,
creatures. Is that did they say that? Is that what who said that
let me
line
see.
about new clones, or was that
Um,
the Empire, people in the Empire? I can't remember now. It felt so long since I
uh,
saw episode 3. Oh my god.
and it doesn't really say what.
Caminos. That's the planet. That's it.
Okay, okay, all right, yeah, yeah. So, and some other things I was interested to, obviously was, I believe his name was Crosshair. He was the guy
Yes.
who like turned
Yeah,
on his crew, right?
they had the chip kind of.
Yeah, and like you can kind of tell he's slowly losing his like mind there towards episode 3. And I also think too, Matt, in episode 3, I'm like Wrecker, he was having issues with his head. um
Yeah, I was like, oh,
I
okay.
wonder if he's going to eventually execute Order 66.
Yeah, there was they teased
Yeah,
that
yeah. I feel like something is I'm gonna happen
because
there.
he rubbed it
Yeah,
twice, but nothing came
yeah,
of it. So I guess it was a
right.
foreshadow. I kind of like how ruthless Crosshair is. He goes,
He's just
he just killed all those people. Go,
of the bottom line, man.
he
He
goes,
was like, "Hey,
do it. Oh no, he killed this
be
whole soldier,
yeah,
and it's like,
be a good soldier,
oh,
be a
good
good
soldiers
soldier," and
follow orders, and he killed his own
yeah,
person, and they're like,
yeah.
oh and then he just walked away, just ruthless. Um, I'll give a slight tease for episode 4 for you. There is a character from the Mandalorian in that episode.
Okay, I'll
Well,
definitely have to check that.
it was teased before. I think they said it before, so it's
Hmm.
not much of a real spoiler. But I won't spoil it.
Yeah,
But and I
and
think
also something to
good action scenes in this one.
yeah, and man, I'm just really interested at like how complex that like Hunter's character is. Like
Yes.
he like he is a very like ruthless character, but at the same time he doesn't go out there and and kill someone just to kill them. And that was
Yeah,
obviously what like led to like him and the Crosshair not really seeing eye to eye, and why he left
the
the like
the
yeah left
Empire got him.
the like Jedi go there. So
Yeah, and another thing, especially in episode 4. I know you didn't see it,
mhm,
but maybe they showed us before. But how the people, like everyday people, are reacting to the war being over. I know in episode 4, I just remember I believe the clones were walking to the one planet they're going to. The the clones
Right.
are marching through, and they had the hologram of somebody from Empire talking about their turning in their credits for new Empire credits or whatever, and their something codes. I forget the name of the codes, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, like the everyday folks on the planet, are cheering because the war is over, and Omega's like, "Why are they cheering?" He has the war's over. And there's a line of, I forget who said it. Maybe it was like, depends on what side of the war you're on. So like,
Right. Yeah.
it's very
Exactly.
interesting to see, how
It's all about the
perspective
perspective.
and the twist. Yeah, I think everybody's just glad that the war is over. Now I don't know the planet to go to. It sounded familiar, but I don't know if it was like fully. I don't know how that worked out, but I didn't do my usual like looking at articles and seeing stuff, reading on stuff that I probably missed or forgot about. But that's and like that's another cool aspect of just seeing the aftermath leading up, because obviously we have Rebels. It turns that leads into 4, 5, and 6 in Rogue One, but we never really saw just everyday people, because the prequels were pretty much the Clone Wars and the birth of Vader. 4, 5, and 6 is we're in the middle of the Empire and Luke and all them rebels blowing up the Death Star, and then the sequels is basically the aftermath and basically the First Order coming up, and you really don't see the in between, which this kind of does deliver. Even Rebels, the animated series, gets that a little bit, because that's right before. That's right after 6, I believe. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lead in the 4. Oh my God, oh God, that's making me mad. But you get the point.
Yeah. So yeah. We'll be sure to go over episodes 4, maybe 5,
Yeah.
maybe 5 next week. It just kind of depends as well when we actually record. But all right. So now we're gonna get into some professional wrestling talk.
Oh, are we gonna do COVID real quick?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Real quick,
I completely forgot
Just
about that. So yeah.
just
Do you want to?
yeah,
Talk
I'll do that.
about
Yeah.
this?
So basically, most of you already know. Well, speaking just technically, was locally in the state that, and even the CDC, that at least coming, I think on Memorial Day here, that our governor is lifting restrictions, pretty much all these restrictions, like indoor occupancy and everything, except the masking until 70% are vaccinated. So the summer, like, look at the Penguins in Game 5. They're going to go full. The Pirates are going full in July. And you still have to wear masks.
Steelers are going to like be full capacity, like, and now we're even seeing
wrestling
going
on tour
is like going back, and it looks like it looks like July is going to be where everything is coming back. So super excited.
and
and
then CDC saying if you're fully vaccinated, you pretty much don't need a mask. Doing pretty much anything. So that you see at least local stores, some saying you don't need a mask if you're fully vaccinated. Going back to the Pirates again, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need a mask. And I saw that when I worked the last time. People, and it's more self-regulated. If you want to wear it, you can wear it. If not, you don't have to. just people sitting there. I think the New York Islanders had a section of the arena of, you saw it if you're on the TV right side, more compact. When they scored a goal, there was a ton of people vaccinated, and on the TV left side, more spaced out. And if they had showed their card, they got to sit in the regular section. I almost want to sit in the section by itself. You get more room, honest to God. But so
what we had.
Yeah, it was great. So things are slowly getting back to normal, but there's still hesitation, which I'm not surprised about things opening up. More specific example for me, since I work in the high school, we were having graduation, obviously, and it was the original plan was to have it outside. Now, normally we have it, with the exception of last year, because it was different. It was the middle of pandemic and all that fun stuff. We're still in the pandemic, but you get my point. That it was outside. We always usually have it inside in the gym, even since we've been there, even before I was. And because the problem is, you have it in the evening. It's hot. It's June. It's hot. You have you're on the field. It's turf. It's not grass. That heat stays there. Plus, in the stands, you have older people. People are having heat strokes. Just the older people, they can't deal with that. So they moved it kind of permanently in the gym to avoid that. You have no weather. It's air control. It's AC, what have you. So this past week, again, supposed to be outside. I was supposed to work it outside. Our board changed it to back inside, mask required. And of course, people complain online, like, why can't we have it ruin it? Why can't you have it outside? I bet people would want it to be outside. And I'm thinking to myself, in its full capacity, basically, because I ran the numbers. But I'm like, we've always done it inside for as long as I remember.
Yeah,
and everybody wants back to normal.
I had mine. Where I had mine at. Yeah.
And everybody wants normal, but now you don't want it to be normal. I mean,
you can't have it both ways.
You're not gonna please everybody, I know, but it was people on the Facebook, but like they're following regulations, like CDC is saying if you're fully vaccinated, you can wear things. Now it's still the school and business's discretion, which the school is making you wear a mask, and people are like, why do I have to wear a mask if I'm fully vaccinated? It's a business decision. It's by the state. The state says it recommends, hey, we recommend that you still wear a mask throughout the remainder of the school year, but you can go outside and we lifted restrictions and all that stuff. So it's not like we're going against stuff, but I don't know. I bring that up just to show that there's always this conflict with the people who say, I'm with no mask and
fear.
It's true. I mean, people get sick. I mean, hell, you got sick. You lasted. I don't know if you got sick
3
before
weeks.
before this. Before you got it, but it kicked your ass. Ooh, excuse me. It kicked your ass.
Yeah. That was the worst I've ever been sick ever, and I mean, like, people who say that this wasn't a big deal, I call freaking bullshit. Like I had every symptom, but somehow I did not lose taste or lose smell. Don't ask me how, but that was
it affects it. I didn't when.
But I had every other symptom imaginable.
Did you have? When did you get vaccinated? Before or after that?
I didn't. I was actually scheduled to. It was like
right.
a day. I was scheduled to a day after I tested positive. So
that's right. Was that the first? Was that the first shot or second shot?
First shot. first shot. So
Oh.
it was going to be on that like Wednesday, which was the 22nd, I believe, and I
April.
tested positive
Yeah.
on the 21st. So
Well,
so
that
they were like,
sucks.
yeah,
Well, people can still
which
get it.
right, which I believe that the doctor said that I have to wait like 30 days. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
so I'm hoping so I think by like June 1st I'll be okay, and by then I'm definitely am getting that shot because I am sick of like wearing masks when I take these freaking
Well,
things
which it
off.
depends on which one. Then you're gonna wait like 2 weeks for the second one,
Well yeah,
unless you can.
unlike Pfizer,
Yeah.
Pfizer, it's like 3 weeks. So so I would have like one shot and then
Most of June, July, you'd be
right
fine.
right. I want to like have that shot
Before we go on
before we
vacation. Yeah.
leave on like vacation there.
Yeah.
So
Plus, I hope. Well, hopefully, you might get 1 day of that vaccine. Maybe the second one kicking your ass. You might be out for 1 day. But that is
yeah,
a
I
price
mean
you will pay.
I'll gladly take it.
I pay that. I pay that
So
price. Yeah.
yes, but yeah, things are slowly are getting back, and that's going to transition us into some professional wrestling talk, which we had. So we had a ton of like news this week now. First of which, WWE announces they're
Today. Yeah.
going back on the road starting on July 16th, which I believe will be a SmackDown in like Houston, and then they will have like
You know,
money in the bank, which I believe is also in Houston,
or
or
Dallas. Dallas is
oh,
Raw.
basically
I
in
forget. Yeah. Texas.
Texas somewhere. So between that and like Raw, and we also have AEW. They're going on the road, I believe, starting on July 6th or whatever, which they're going into um,
Everybody's going to
Austin,
Texas,
Texas, for their first show. So
and then
and we all
WWE at
yeah
least says, at least for now, going through Labor Day weekend.
yeah
At least right now,
right
they have stuff planned.
and it looks like for SummerSlam they're going into Vegas, and apparently, Matt, they might be going to the like Las Vegas Raiders stadium there, which kind of surprised me there. So I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's more. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'm right. I was like, I mean, shit. I was like, you save that for a freaking Mania, but that seems to be where things are going there. So,
they
so
could pull
yeah,
people that they can pull people for that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's going to
And
be interesting to see if they come north to our neck of the woods here,
I think that's going
yeah,
to happen by the
because
fall.
we were
So,
we were supposed to get the Raw that got canceled. We were supposed to go,
like Stone Cold Steve Austin was
and the
supposed to.
Undertaker. We had it. We were supposed to get one.
Yeah, yeah,
You owe us, Vince.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but
But
it's gonna be
yeah,
very interesting. Like everybody's excited for both both companies to travel again and to get actual
I just
reactions.
want to go to a damn like a damn like wrestling show. Like I had the itch, I had the craving. Damn it. um, but so speaking of AEW, they also had some more news on I believe it was on like Wednesday. They announced that they are going to be having a like new show, Rampage, which is going to be coming on August 13th on TNT at like 10 o'clock on like Friday nights. So that is going to be a like 1 hour show, which as Tony Khan said, it's going to be a like extension of like Dynamite. So I'm kind classifying that as their like SmackDown, even though
I'm calling it their
even though
thunder.
yeah, even though it is only like 1 hour. So there's that. And they also announced that like starting in like January of 2022, both Dynamite and like Rampage are going over to like TBS, um um in like January, and they will also be like doing quarterly shows on like TNT. They didn't announce like un, uh, announce like nights for that yet, but yeah, a lot of like news there, Matt. What's your thoughts on all of like that news as like you're hearing it
The
there?
NHL strikes again.
Yeah, and I believe it was actually Turner's I think someone from them said, yeah, it was pretty much why they had to switch them.
Yeah, because
Um,
yeah, yeah, because the NHL is probably getting Wednesday on TNT. You're not putting
yeah,
NHL on TBS.
right.
Um, no, honestly, no surprise here.
No,
Um, it was, I think it was said, it's not a contract extension. It's just a movement of channels in the same family. Um, TBS is nearly the same, or just a little bit more TV
yeah,
coverage.
it
So
was like a like million more homes, apparently.
yeah,
So
I don't know if that
so,
makes a
so
difference, but
right,
nothing's really
it
going to
like really
change.
doesn't.
No. So yeah, to me, it was like I'm not surprised by none of it, because we all knew about the second show, but it's like the fourth show. But the TV for
I'm
second,
classifying
it's the
I'm
second
classifying it
TV show.
as a second show because to me like Calibation and like
Yeah,
Dark are just basically
yeah, I know.
not exactly shows there. So
Their main event.
yeah, right.
No, yeah. No, the hell was that? No, they. No, that was. I swear I saw something like fall here. What the hell?
Ah!
Am I being attacked by the locusts? No, but the second TV show. Yeah. So nothing really was really surprising to me about the move. Um,
Right.
yeah, that's what I
And,
got. It pretty much as expected.
yeah, and to me, I don't really see this as a like negative here because after you really think about it, they aren't going to be they aren't going to be preempted anymore. So like that's a plus. They are Turner is actually paying them more now, so check. Um
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
and
Who said this
now
was negative?
they are giving them quarterly specials on like TNT. Like, if anything, Matt, I don't see this as a like negative. I see this as a like vote of like confidence.
Who said this was negative?
You would be surprised.
That's true. I at the
On the trolls,
true.
trolls, of
I
course.
at the very least, it's a lateral move.
Yeah,
That's what it is. It's
that's
just
how I see it.
it's a lateral move. So yeah, it is. I mean, it is what it is. It's just
Mm-hmm.
they paid a lot of freaking money for the NHL. They're going to show the NHL has probably
Oh yeah.
a little bit more priority over
Oh hell. I
a
mean hell. Like
little bit.
a- ad rates with 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 like with sports compared to any form of like professional wrestling is going to outweigh
The
them.
viewership
So
alone.
right, exactly. But man, I am I'm honestly am pretty excited about this, and man, and honestly, these like quarterly shows, I feel is a great idea. It kind of goes like back to to how like WCW how they used to have their like clash of the champions specials on there. So I feel like, I mean, and for a 2 or like 3 hour special, hell, I mean, I'm pretty excited for that there. So I would imagine shows such as like Fight for the Fallen, Winter is coming. I feel like those are going to be like those like TNT specials. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And just to stick on the Dynamite talk here. Matt, have you seen any shows
Nope.
recently? Okay.
No.
Um
The only thing I
okay.
did watch,
Mark.
because you asked me
Yeah.
to, and I did it,
Yeah.
Blood and Guts.
And like and here's what I said about that. Match up until the last like 5 minutes, it was great.
Yep.
But then that freaking finish
Yep.
happened.
Yep. Yep. I
Is that how
totally
you feel?
agree. I saw that. I knew what the finish was because I mean, how could I have not avoid
Right,
seeing it?
right.
But the problem that happened, and it always happens, is what the last thing you see, people are going to remember, or it's going to have the effect. And unfortunately, um, Jericho falling into a sea of clouds,
And while at the same time dislocating his elbow, so
which is
it's like
funny.
insult to freaking injury
Yeah,
there.
but because anything good or bad that ends a show, a big show, people are gonna go.
Hmm.
If something bad happens, it's gonna be, yeah, that sucked, blah blah blah, and then it's always like, well, what about this? But everybody sticks on.
I know.
Six example that first came to mind was the last man. Was it a Falls Count Anywhere? Last man standing match between Owens and Reigns, which I thought was an enjoyable match, but what did everybody talk about? The handcuffs.
Right. Exactly. So
Um,
it's just like
or you have a bad pay per view, or
mhm,
a so pay per view, and but you have a kick ass main event. What's everybody going to really talk about? Oh, the
mhm.
main event helped it. It was the main event, and then in this case, you have Jericho falling into crash pads and fake metal cardboard. Um,
Yeah, it just
they need it.
they need to, if they can just figure out to get these like freaking like finishes figured out, like they put on consistently really fun shows every single week. It's just small things here and there where they just really need to clean up.
Yeah,
Um
their
and that
prop
and that's kind of
department need to work it out. There's a couple. How many
right.
times I've noticed like their props or I don't want to say special effects, but that's more. But you know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. Ad
Sloppy. It's
that
sloppy.
take you. Just at least we all okay. We all can know that it's not legit, right? Like it's
Obviously.
professional wrestling, but at least this is for both. This is for any company, not just
Every
AEW.
company.
Make it seem like plausible. Make it look legit.
Suspend our
Make it look
disbelief here.
like oh crap. Like they probably took safety precautions, but that looked like it really hurt.
Right. Exactly. It's
Like
it's just small things
it's like a
like that. And
movie. It's like
mhm,
if we watch the Avengers and or whatever, and
mhm,
somebody an action scene or whatever whatever insert scenario here, and it didn't look
right.
and they didn't shoot it right or edit it right. Now you have the advantage of CGI and all that, but that's not the point. But you an oversight there of that. Nope, nobody in the theater is gonna believe. Oh, that looked like crap. I want I want to leave.
Right. Exactly. So
That
it's
was the big
something I'm
thing
hope.
about yeah.
Yeah. And Matt, it's hard to believe as well. We're
Oh,
only a like week away from double or nothing too. So
Speaking of suspending my belief, Orange effing Cassidy is fighting for a championship.
Hey, at least it's not a singles match. It's at least a triple threat. It's
Slightly
better.
It's fair.
Slightly better.
They could put Pac in there, but here I'm gonna be nice here. I'm gonna be fair and balanced. You know what? At least it's not freaking zombies.
Yeah, and we will get into that shortly. But I just want to run down this card and get your thoughts on the.
I'm sorry. I'm still over the zombies. I'm listening.
So Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Hagogo.
Wake me up before you go.
Hangman Adam Page versus Brian Cage.
Okay.
Any thoughts there, buddy?
No. I just
okay. All right.
If the only thing that would make this better if it was a steel cage match.
That's right. Darby Allin and Sting versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and this is going to be a actual match, not a cinematic match. So this is going to officially be Sting's first match since
Rollins, right?
Since Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So we
official, in ring match, and then you have the heavyweight match. Okay.
No. For the AEW Tag Team Championships.
Oh, that one, yeah.
The Young Bucks versus John Moxley and Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
Matt's intrigued. Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker.
There's only one way to go there.
Absolutely. And by the way, have you been seeing anything of Miro?
I know he won the TNT championship.
He is now the guy who we all wanted him to be. So
he's facing. At least he did it. He did it.
Yeah, he is defending his TNT championship against Lance Archer. So there's that. Yeah. I'm not crazy about it.
No. Oh no. Oh yeah, no. Exactly. That's a double-edged sword. Oh.
The AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Kenny Omega versus Pac versus your boy, Freshly Squeezed, and you should know as well, my dad hates him too, Orange Cassidy.
Oh, I didn't even mention it when we went. Oh crap! Oh well, yeah. You know what? In a way, I'm almost surprised he really hates him.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like him. And to me, what should main event this show, and if it doesn't, I'm going to really scratch my head. The Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle in a Stadium Stampede 2, with the stipulation, if the Inner Circle loses, they must split up forever. And based on the promos, this is not going to be anything like the first match.
Freaking better not.
No, this is going to be. This is going to be a much different match. So that is currently what the card is. We will talk about the show more next week when we discuss our predictions.
Before you go on, I think what your next thing is probably Reigns and the Reigns. Can I throw out a thought here?
Sure.
Opinion here and ask you a question. I feel like in terms of the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle that the Blood and Guts match should have been the finale.
Yeah. In my opinion, it made that feel like complete filler.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they just did not just wait till the freaking pay-per-view to have that match.
Yeah, that makes no sense. And this is the same problem WWE has, but in a different way of how themed pay-per-views like Hell in a Cell not being the final thing in feuds and just being because we
Yeah,
have to.
it's like and they are like 10 times worse about that. But
If you
still,
would have
it's like,
flipped now, if you would have done somehow on TV to Stadium Stampede there, and then that leads to Blood and Guts somehow.
that makes so much
To me,
more
that
sense.
makes sense to me because
It's
blood and
right.
gut. Like people were bleeding. Like
And people got beat up too. Like if you saw Cash and like Dax, they were bleeding like
yes,
fucking pigs in that thing.
and if
there.
you do the same ending, so if in the same inner circle breaks up, right?
Mhm.
If you do the same ending, shot better, that would have been a good. That's it, right? To me,
Right. Yeah. It's just it could have been done better,
yeah.
but now we're going to transition into some like backlash talk, which we're only gonna be talking about two things because they're the only two things that matter: our tribal chief and fucking zombies.
Oh God.
And about the zombies,
Oh.
you want to throw insult to injury in that match. The freaking Miz has never been hurt in his whole entire career. Tears his ACL in that match. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It's who thought that this was a good idea? God damn it, Vince. Like, I'm like,
But
I'm like,
damn it, Batista.
I'm like, first of all, Matt, these these like zombies, they are really cooperative. I'm like zombies since they completely adhere to the
You
whole
buried every other match.
to the whole like lumberjack concept. I'm like, why are they just standing on the outside? Why aren't they going in a ring? Like, why would they be following the freaking rules here? So there was that, and then we saw them eat John Morrison.
He was back the next night.
He was back on the next night. I'm like, what the hell happened? So there was that, and man, I'm just like, and they involved Damian Priest in this whole garbage. I'm like, man, oh, like I've never. Twitter was such a magical place at this moment because when you even see someone in Ryan Satin is burying this, that's when you know
Everybody
how
was.
bad that whole match segment, whatever you want to call it, truly was, Matt. Oh my god.
Cornette's rant was beautiful. He just went on everything in wrestling. He kind of agreed with you. He goes, if AEW said back 30 years, what did this do? 50 years.
Easily.
But he goes,
I'm like,
wait a minute, 50 years, that's what, 19, he did the math. He go, no, that was actually good back then. Then I don't, that was great. He just destroyed everybody. He got on. He just destroyed. It was great. He just went on this rant. Oh my God. But like Jesus Christ, they could have done a different. You could have freaking just shown the freaking trailer of Batista's movie, but instead, and first off, when did Lumberjacks get their own locker room? So the whole the locker room.
I was also wondering about that.
And people knew something fishy was happening when Damian Priest asking for a lumberjack. He goes, yes, through aliens, through zombies and stuff. And everybody's like, oh, God, wait a minute.
What's happening?
No, they're not going to. I was
but
like, oh.
Thankfully, the show was saved. Well, I'll say this about the show in general. Outside of that fucking garbage, everything else was at least pretty damn good.
I was entertained by pretty much all those matches like zombies.
Exactly. Except for
it always happens. A piss poor build usually over delivers.
And man, that main event between our tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, wins and defends his WWE Universal Championship against Cesaro. This was a sensational match. Loved it. This just I'm running out of ways to put this man over, but Roman Reigns is the best wrestler in the world. I don't want to hear any Kenny talk. I don't want to hear any other talk right now. Like, he is the guy. Every single pay-per-view match, every single big-time match, it's just sensational. I'm
Yes.
like just how he's a great storyteller, Matt. Like he's so much far in ahead
I
of
I know.
everyone in WWE. It's insane.
You know, Heyman has a lot of his fingerprints on this, with Roman's segments, because everybody, and I still don't know how people don't like Roman, like appreciate Roman now, and don't like him even more.
It's
I,
complete.
I,
It's those kind of people, Matt. They will like never put him over
no,
because
they didn't
because
like
you
him
can't
before
tell
because
me
he was too cheesy, and yet now he's a badass. Um,
you
kind of
can't tell me that fucking Kenny
nobody,
O
not even a
Omega is better.
nobody.
It's better
No,
than Roman Reigns.
no.
He can't touch him right now.
Objectively, I don't know how you can't say it. Objectively,
Right. Hell,
subjectively,
just based on character and promos alone, you look at like one segment between Reigns, and you look at the other segment of Kenny. Which guy seems absolutely real, and which guy seems absolutely fake? Pretty damn obvious, if you ask me. And hell, the
Omega
story
needs Don Callis to talk,
absolutely.
and
Roman doesn't need a damn thing. Like hell, the story he tells with his family, with guys such as Edge and Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens and
Cesaro.
Cesaro, like it's every single guy. He is the most consistent man in this company.
The trash talk. I love his talking in the ring, and they
It's great.
and kudos to WWE for turning up the camera mics and let us hear that story, because and they do, and they've done that for other people too, but most notably with Roman, since being in the Thunderdome, that's the added benefit, because you have no crowd noise. You can like legit crowd noise. You can turn up and have Roman talk, and they probably still do it once there is a crowd. But his trash talking is like phenomenal.
So
Like,
real.
yeah,
It's so real. And
he
that's
comes
the thing.
off
That's
like a
why
legit badass. Jimmy, and I'm so still surprised they have his shirt of Nobody's Bitch, like it's an official shirt, because they had his name on the back.
and man, I'm so interested in that angle. Like that is the only interesting thing on either Raw or SmackDown right now, and it's not even close. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to
Because
turn out there.
And I'm glad,
Because
yeah, and I'm glad they're doing it this way, because Jay got his ass beat into joining. Jimmy was injured, and what was that? Was the Hell in a Was it the Hell in a Cell when like he threw in the towel or something? He threw in the towel or whatever, and he's holding Jay, and
or no, he said, or it was
I quit.
like I quit.
Yeah.
I quit. Hell.
That's right, something like that. And like Jimmy was like,
which yeah.
holding his brother, and like he was against it, and so when he finally comes back, he's like, oh, okay, they're together, but he like kind of like cost Seth the match, and then there was that backstage confrontation, like, you're not going to talk to me like that,
No,
like my brother Jay. I kind of want to see a Jay versus Jimmy match.
I think we're either getting that or like Jimmy versus Reigns at the next show.
I would almost do I don't know. I kind of do Jimmy versus Jay. Jimmy wins, and then that gets him a victory that leads him to Roman, because I don't think you want to do Roman right off the bat.
No, but I tell you, man, he single-handedly is making Jimmy and Jay the most important guys on their TV.
They build up whoever is right, probably Heyman has a lot to do with it too. But,
Oh,
but
yeah.
everybody who is involved with Roman has brought elevated people who have lost up. Cesaro, they build him up, and
Kevin Owens,
Kevin Owens,
Jey Uso.
the Usos in general.
Right,
Yes,
exactly. It's just
I mean, Daniel Bryan to some respect.
he was
wait, no.
already he was already established though,
Yeah,
so
but
I don't really count him. But
to me,
yeah,
in
I see what you
aspect,
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
he was there, and now he was like, oh, okay, he's main event Daniel Bryan
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
I mean, it pushed him back up, but
Right.
yeah, I know, yeah, for your point, yeah, I know. But I mean, to me, everybody else was established, but everybody was like mid card ish range, and then we got more invested in Cesaro, and like, even though I knew with equivalently without a doubt Roman was going to win, I was
a few spots where I wasn't sure,
yeah,
and that is
Cesaro
it's
made me believe that
right, exactly.
like, and I was at the point that I wouldn't be mad if somehow Roman lost somehow and Cesaro won, because in a way you could say Jimmy could have like cost him, and that could have, and it would in a way make sense that it, like, I believe Cesaro, even though I didn't want Roman to lose it, and he shouldn't lose it, but I believe that I wanted Cesaro, and that to me that was the best thing, and we gotta say it's the weekly thing that just shows you as a whole, SmackDown beats the living tar out of Raw. Even
And
if
I'll say
SmackDown,
this.
even if you think SmackDown,
I am never going to a freaking episode of like Raw until further notice. And if SmackDown comes into Pittsburgh, you're damn sure I am going to acknowledge our tribal chief.
I will wear this to the show. I don't care.
It just-
we have to. I will bring one. I don't care. But even on SmackDown's worst day, beats Raw into the ground.
Roman alone is going to just it's going to like mask over everything else.
There's at least storylines and things that I'm intrigued about that on SmackDown that I care more about than Raw. Guess what
the Raw doesn't give you shit.
No, guess what I've been doing lately on Raw? I think I did this week too. And I started watching it, and I was like, nope. I just watch Marvel movies. I'm doing it in timeline order. I've been doing other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like,
for me to get to me, you know me, for me to get to that point to not watch it at all is something.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not going to even consider, hell, even if it was a Raw after Mania, I'm not watching. Like, that's how bad things are.
I would still watch just to see, because
I mean,
it can't be. I was like, just out of curiosity.
I'm so over that. But oh yeah, guys, I think that is a good place for us to.
It's because speaking of SmackDown, we gotta go and catch up on the SmackDown because it's 8:15 right now. Yeah. And it would be the most enjoyable 15 minutes of Raw the dream could put out.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, guys, we thank you for tuning in. We are going to be back on a like weekly basis. So
hopefully.
definitely expect that unless something happens. But that's currently is what the game plan is.
We're getting in the summer, at least for my end, that my activities dwindle.
Right. So yeah, guys. As always, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. I am over there a ton, whether it is wrestling, MMA. Matt, he's also on there as like, well, he's tweeting during SmackDown and NXT as like well there. So definitely communicate with us there.
Our personal Twitters. Mine right there. John's. There we go. Right there.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, guys. Until like next week. We will see you later.